Hi, Marianne with Fresh Pair of Eyes. How are both of you?
Hi, we're
Hello.
doing well.
Very well.
Awesome. So the story is pretty different from the movie, other than the killer pumpkin. Why did you decide to take it in a different direction?
This is a good question because that short was done in 2018, so it was 6 years ago, and the mandate then was a bit different. It was more of a PG-13 approach, and it was a short. It was a 5 minute long film, so it was a completely different approach. And then for the feature, a lot of time had gone by, and us trying to craft the story and figure out what the right motivation for this pumpkin is, and it evolved into something that I think is actually much more grounded. The short had scary teeth and eyes, but this is an organic mutant, sentient pumpkin with real motivation. And so I know,
Obviously.
yeah. And so I know I didn't want it to be a jack o' lantern. I didn't want it to be, we've all seen pumpkin Halloween images of scary jack o' lanterns that are monsters. This is something different. It's more like a sentient creature that has real motivation, and that informed a new design that was much more like a monster that feels to me like something that could be an iconic monster.
For both of you, do you think Kira dealing with a broken heart actually makes her more focused and ready to deal with this pumpkin because she has anger that she can channel into this moment?
Yeah, I think definitely the heightened emotional place in which Kira kind of starts this film at, I think just overall contributes to, I think her mental state throughout. And, I think that was one of the things we were kind of trying to play with a little bit while we were shooting it is like, yes, obviously there's a killer pumpkin on the loose. And so a breakup with a boyfriend is not the thing that's top of mind, but how that can somehow still be infused in how she's feeling during this time, and the person that she would usually go to for support, for comfort, is no longer that person. Um, and so I think it was definitely something we were thinking about and trying to work into the whole thing.
Yeah, I always saw it as a story about breaking away from a codependent relationship, and then and part of that breaking away is Kira discovering, and relying on her creativity to solve problems and to help, because she's a writer, a director, she's a creative person. Wanted that, part of that journey to be breaking away and bringing that creativity to the forefront to help save lives.
Yeah, I kind of wondered while watching it, did Kira originally like being a playwright and this directing? Was that independently that she was something into, or was it because Cody was an actor too and she had this muse? Or was there never really a beginning or ending and she'll kind of discover this as time goes on?
Yeah, you can probably speak to this in terms of writing it, but I think for me, you know, I think Kira does love being creative and having this creative outlet of writing and directing. I think that's something that she is definitely passionate about outside of anyone else. But I think, in being with Cody, uh, the love of creation and love for him kind of became this singular entity. And so after the breakup, you kind of see her trying to figure out how to separate those two things again and allow her love of directing and writing to exist outside of this relationship that she's no longer in.
Wow, you really did a lot of character work. That's nice. I,
I read the script
that's
once before we
fantastic.
started filming.
Payton's the best. That's why, in my mind, this story, this location, these characters is very much inspired by real life attractions that have these sort of Halloween plays, like a Sturbridge Village, where they do the Sleepy Hollow experience, and the idea that there's performers and historical interpreters. There's always some creative mind behind it that's putting on these plays. And if you look at the Sleepy Hollow experience, it's an amazing show. It's an award-winning outdoor stage play that was very inspiring to me, because someone's writing and creating that and putting, infusing it with the spooky energy, and that was inspiring to me from a character perspective, to sort of tell a story about these people, the writer, the director, and then the actors that are bringing these visions to life.
Yes. As for an that being an actor and for being the director, was the hardest part of shooting mostly in the dark?
Oh boy, I could go on forever about this. Well, the hardest part with this movie is the fact that our creature is not a person in a suit. It's not a full CGI monster. This is an actual puppet. That is a practical element that is physically puppeteered. The idea was to create a film that is relying on techniques that would have been used in the 90s. So old school techniques, reverse photography, puppets. Puppets are extremely difficult to work with, especially when it's raining on the foam latex and there's it's just so bringing it to life is a combination of many solutions to many challenges. And to me, overall, that just bringing the pumpkin to life in general was extremely difficult.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot that was difficult. I mean, working with Justin's really difficult, so I
Tyrant.
do not recommend that. I think there were tons of challenges. The technical stuff that luckily I didn't have to be very responsible for. But shooting it all at night was a challenge. We had weather challenges. We had acting challenges. But I really think at the end of the day, those challenges are kind of what force everyone to like come together and say we just have to figure this out and make it work. And I think it's really that energy that comes through in the film, I think, and so when we were tired and cold and confused about how to shoot something, that's when we really kind of got close to one another and figured it out.
It's true. I mean, we shot this in Kentucky in the spring where every night there was thunderstorms, and anytime a thunderstorm rolls in, you just have to shut the production down. So shooting at nighttime, there's just a lot of waiting for weather that then creates a bottlenecking fact for your schedule. And so it was challenging to shoot in Kentucky in the spring for weather, and then trying to put a puppet into that. But you're right. It's everything is about solving the problem, and it forces you to be creative and to really hone in on the story, simplify things,
right? Figure out what's important.
Yeah, that's filmmaking. Yeah.
Yeah, and the kind of the theme of the movie overall.
It's very meta. It's very meta.
But thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I can't wait to talk to you guys about future projects as well.
Thank you so much. Nice to talk to you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.